So, today is Wednesday, the 18th of March 2020. We're right in the middle of the pandemic, or the start of it, as far as the UK goes, and I think people are only starting to get fucking scared. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't more than a little unsettled by all this. It has been the primary topic of discussion in not just our household, but our online lives as well for the last couple of weeks. And the thing that kind of seems to astound me the most is how blasé people are with it. How in amongst a world that's basically been saturated with zombie media and post-apocalyptic media, and this is like the premier fucking genre of our times in the last, call it 8 years. It's basically either been Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead, and people like Game of Thrones because it's violent and all the other stuff, and there are boobs. But what's become unsettlingly clear in recent months, people's fascination with zombie films in general seem to be not the plight of man against adverse issues and the like. It's the lawlessness and being able to shoot someone in the fucking face without consequence, and it's basically being able to fuck everybody over for your own survival, and the joy and the freedom in being a dick with no one around to stop you. So there is for anybody kind of surviving in the wasteland of the future, one of the primary hallmarks of what's going on at the moment is people are hoarding everything. And by everything, I mean toilet paper. And it seems to be this case of nobody washes their hands, or nobody in the world seems to have been washing their hands before now, which is even more terrifying. And I had suspected it quite badly. All you got to do, and if there are still Weatherspoons around, for the guys in the States, that's like a logo. It's like McDonald's, but they sell booze. And it's basically football and stuff like that, like soccer. I'm trying to reach a wide audience. You know, we don't know who survives in the future that gets to actually see this. But all you got to do is go into a Weatherspoons and stand around in there for 10 minutes, and kind of, if you'll be lucky if kind of 4 out of 10 of the guys walking in or out wash their fucking hands. So yeah, I'm gonna start giving people the Vulcan greeting from now on. I wish I'd come up with that, but I'm gonna officially, like, pandemic or no pandemic, I'm gonna stop shaking people's hands until I kind of get to know them a little bit. In amongst all the unsettling shit that's going on, it's really quite scary. I was talking to somebody the other day, and so, for instance, like, if you know 50 people and you see 25 of those 50 people most days of the week, or every day, give or take, you know, in your day-to-day runnings, like when you go down to the shop, or you kind of wave to your neighbor, or whatever it is, and of those 25 people, and of those 50 people, maybe, I don't know, 4 people are infected. It doesn't take a genius to know that it's not going to take you long to run into all of, or some of those 4 people and become infected yourself. And it just fucking astounds me at how little people have thought this thing through. Like, what were people thinking about when they're watching these zombie movies? I don't understand. It's like, oh, well, you know, kind of there's this creepy guy who's clearly been infected, but he's hiding it. And it seems like most people, that is the way they're leaning with this. Folks are not thinking the bigger picture for themselves or for anybody around them or the people they love. And it's utterly fucking terrifying. The things that scare me about these post-apocalyptic things are not the zombies or the infection or the anything. It's people. People are terrifying. we seem not to get our heads out of our own asses. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it became apparent that he fucking litters 8 times a day. He's a smoker, and he just, every day, right outside his own house. And I smoked for years, and I didn't do this. And so, I think, as people, because our brains are programmed to create shortcuts between different things, because you'd go fucking nuts if you had to think about everything constantly, or you'd have to... By our nature, we want to categorize things. We're looking for the quickest way to do the least amount of thinking between point A and point B. Otherwise, you just burn out all your brain processing energy on just trivial stuff that you don't have to think about. So we take a lot of stuff for granted as people. Your brain fills in the blanks. You don't perceive what you're seeing around you at present most of the time. You think you do because your brain fills in the gaps, but you don't actually see these things in the periphery. When you're driving, you're looking, but you're not actually seeing what's there, which is really, really quite scary. So naturally, in order to fill in these gaps in your perception of the universe, you superimpose your values. So, if in your world everybody takes a poo and then washes their hands like a motherfucker, and because that's what you do, that's what you understand to be the correct way to do things, you will naturally believe at your base level that majority or everybody thinks or acts in the way that you act. But that is very, very, very much not the case. So don't take anything for granted. Don't assume. I think that's wasn't it from C.S. Lewis? From Alice in Wonderland, where kind of you don't take anything for granted? Is it the caterpillar tells Alice, I think. Either way, it's the core of this thing, and if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. While I rant and rave and talk into the void. My hopes for the future are is that I hope this scares the shit out of enough people. I really do. I hope the hospitals can keep up, and it seems like as of this point, we might get away with this. And using the word get away in the loosest possible term. I don't know. I just... It seems like because people haven't thought beyond themselves and beyond how things affect them immediately right now, like, people aren't thinking about the bigger stuff. They're not thinking about that if hospitals are swelling with people who haven't taken a moment to self-isolated or looked after themselves, or the people who desperately needed attention or respirators or whatever else it is. If you go out and you break your fucking leg, or if you have a heart attack, or any of these normal things that kind of happen on a day-to-day basis, there are going to be less places for the regular stuff. So the chances of death go up, and it's not just restricted to kind of the outbreak and the virus and the thing that's going on with it. I apologize for the bouts of silence here. There's so much to rant and rave and carry on about, and I don't want to. It hurts my heart to see this stuff happening. It worries me about us as a species, that in amongst everything else that's going on, and the lies and the fake news and the screaming and the yelling and the finger pointing, that just at the most basic level of we're all people and we should all be looking out for each other, and I'm not surprised at how this is playing out. It breaks my heart to see it doing what I thought it would do. So, in closing, go out, be careful, look after yourself. And when I say go out, I actually mean stay at home. Like, don't fucking go out. If you gotta go out, absolutely just keep your distance. Hand sanitizer might clean germs and whatever else it is, but it doesn't destroy dirt, so it doesn't wash your hands. So wash your hands constantly. Get yourself like a, I don't know, like a hand moisturizer as well, you know, if you're that concerned about it. But wash your hands, wash them some more, wash them some more. Don't take any chances, you don't have to. If you have to self-isolate, stay home, read a book, catch up on all that stuff, you know, like, great news, everyone. Like, if we all band together, we can power through this thing. Don't take unnecessary risks. Don't take jaunts on the bus if you don't have to. If you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. It's why we work jobs. It's why we pay bills. It's so you can kind of enjoy the thing you're paying for, you know, which is home and chilling and being with the people you care about. So, and I've ranted for coming up nearly 12 minutes. So I'm going to clock out here. Take care of yourselves, whatever it is that you are doing. And keep your chins up. And I'll see you soon. Cheers.